pertsona bat gurekin egotea. Maitane.
And many of the people they know about Gernikan.
Remember I told you?
Yeah, to protect them.
Arteak dakarrelako berez, indar berezi bat kontatzeko.
Horregatik guretzako, zentzu kaldekia dauka oraindik orain, Gernikan kuadroa Gernikara ekartzea, dakin-dakegunean Gernikan kuadroa baitua egotea Estatu Espainiarrengandik bada, buru baten adierazteko Gernika ordezkatzen duen herria baitu ere, baitasuna.
Arratsalde on denoi, eskerrik asko etortzeagatik. Lehenik eta behin aurkezten egin Atef, gure ondoan dago Atef Abu Saif, bera Palestinako Aginte Nazionaleko Kultura ministro izandakoa, idazlea, batez ere idazletzat daukabeak bere burua, politologoa baita eta irakaslea. Gure artean dago aztelenaz geroztik Euskal Herrian, eta egia esan benetan sekulako esperientzi zoragarri izaten da, gordina ere bai, oso gogorra, bere kontakizunak entzutean, baina nik uste dut gauztuek entzadetenok benetan entzungo dezutenak merezi dula. Kontatuko dizuet pixka gure gana nola iritsi dan, urriaren zazpian, joan den urteko urriaren zazpian, Israelek Gaza bonbardatu zunean, hain justu bera Gazan zegoen, berez Ramadan bizi da, baina bera Gazatara da, Jabaliako errefuxiatu gunean jaiotakoa, eta familia guztian daka. Beraz, orduan kultura ministroa zen, eta juntzan gobernuko gauza batzuk egitera asteburuan, eta bide batez bere familia bisitatzera. Baina 3 eguneko bidaia, bilakatu zitzaion 3 hilabeteko amneska gaizto bat, nola bizi iraun heriotzatik. Orduan antzego da, bere hausnarketak, bere gogoetak idazten hasi izan, eta egun batzuk, egunerokoa idazten hasi izan, ez? Nola, batez ere, gero berak kontatuko dugu beto, baina berak behar du idatzi, ez? Berezat arma bat bezala da, eta orduan hasi izan, besterik gabe idazten. Baina gero, ikusita egunero idazten zula, eta konturatu zen, gerrak iragun zula gehiago, erabakizun bere kanpoan zeuden lagunei bidaltzea materiala, eta lagun egitako bat da Osola, Kasagrande edo ezagutzen duzu, Osola da nire lankidea, kolaboratzailea da nire laguna. Eta orduan Osola nirekin jarri zen harremanetan, deitu zidan, esan zidan, sekulako materiala zeukan esku artean, eta kontatu behar genula, zintzala utzi, orduan nahi pasazian, eta konturatu nintzen berehala, hori izan behar geniola gure irakurleari. Gaza itxita dago, eta guk arazo handia dauzkago ara iristeko, ez? Eta benetan gertatzen ari dana kontatzeko, batetik han dauden kazetariak hiltzen egialako, eta bestetik ezinezkoa dalako han sartzea, ez? Orduan, guretzat, lehen pertsona norbaitek kontatzea zer pasatzen ari izan, iruditzen zitzaigun irakurleak merezitako informazioa zala. Beraz, zuzentzaileekin hitz egiten jardun nintzen, eta zentzuten, bai, guk itzuliko dugu eta egunero hasiko gara ematen. Beraz, egunero hasi ginen bi hori ematen, egunero itzultzen, baina 40 bat egun pasazianean konturatu ginen eutxiezina zala, egunero bi horiko materia bat euskaratzea batetik, eta bestetik betikotzen ari zalako, orduan, eten egin genuen publikazioa, baina argi geneukan liburu bat egin genula honekin. Eta orduan, 3 hilabetera Atefek gaza utzi zuenean, esan genuen, oraintxe da momentua, urte hurrenerako liburu bat plazaratu da dugu bere egunerokoakin. Eta hementxe hori da emaitzaren daukazuen liburua, liburua hau, baina atzetik histori polita dauka, ze kontua da, liburu hau ez da euskera zakarrik atera, 8 hizkuntzatara itzuli da, eta Magi editorialek munduan zehar zabaltzen saiatzen ari dira editorial. Orduan, liburu honetatik ateratzen den dirua izango da gazak beak esandako 3 gobernuz kanpoko erakunderentzat. Beraz, animatzea izugu liburua benetan merezitutako eta laguntzeko beste modu bat etalako. Eta isilduko naiz eta hasiko dugu pixka bat elkarrizketa.
I understand all what you said because I know it from yesterday.
Yes, he knows.
So now I'm going to speak. Tell me what I do now.
I'm going to ask you some questions. Bueno, lehenik eta behin Atef, gustatuko ditzaigu pixka bat, zure liburua nola osatuz joan zen kontatzea.
Yeah, good evening everybody. Yeah, it's okay. No? Yeah. Good evening everybody. Thank you very much again. Thank you for attending this. I'm happy to be here in Bermeoko. I don't know, but always, the writer is asked how he wrote this book, and usually, as if there is an assumption that the book should be written for a purpose, which is true. But actually, when I did this, I didn't mean to have a book. It happened on 7th October. I was in Gaza. I was visiting my father, who died in the war later on. It happened that when it took place, I was swimming in the beach, on the sea. And then I started writing, this iron or contradiction, somebody swimming in the beach and the war broke out. So I was having kind of, what authors write, what happened exactly. Then of course, then next day I continued actually, and the day after, but I didn't mean to publish them. For this I started writing with my handwriting. I was writing with my handwriting. Of course, we didn't have electricity in Gaza until now. And at that time, until now, there is no electricity in Gaza, for a year now. But, if you want, I can do that. Yeah, okay.
Bueno, azteko eta behin eskerrak emoten dauz, eta eskerrik pozik dagoela gamen Bermeon egotia reitzik, eta eskerrik asko gonbidapena gaitzik. Eta dino, nahiko oiko galdera bat dela, eitzen dana, ia zelan osatuten dauen idazle batek liburu bet. Printzipio, zatezen intentzino esan, liburu bat idaztie, berez urten zauen gauza bat esan zan, Gazan itxosue begire egon zan momento baten, eta ikusi zauen hor, ugerreitzen, eta esan zauen orduen, zelan dizen gauzek, ez da zelako kontradikzioek batzutan aldizen egon, eta lako leko baten hor ugerreitzen, eta igual beste leko baten kontuten okinde zer dauen pasaten, hasi zan eskuz idazten papel baten, zor momentuen, esan egon elektrizidaderik. Gaur egun bez ez dago elektrizidaderik eta ja urte bete gitxienez Gazako herrize elektrizidade barik dauela.
Yeah, so I, then after because I remember that day when the war started, when I ran from the beach, to my car, and then I drove between my clothes, then I went to the press house, which is like the press club, which they destroyed this right now. We were sitting together like a group of friends. Yeah, I think I talk about this in the book, And nobody expected that, it will last for a month even. We were just thinking, this is another escalation, And nobody expected that a year will pass and we would talk about them. Actually, all of them died. The people with me at that time in the room, we were 4, 3 of them died. And anyway, so after a week I said, okay, or 10 days I have to publish them, what I'm writing. Because I want people to know about us, you know. I want to know, because I felt I might die. Everybody's dying around me. So I said, you know, if I die, I want people to know that I was there. So I started to send them. Of course, it's very hard. Now I can talk about the process of writing. But then I started to send these texts to my publisher. I do 2 texts, one Arabic, one English. So I sent my Arabic to my Arabic publisher, and the English to my English publisher. Then it appeared in all the international newspapers, you know, including Bere and the Basque. Yeah.
Orduen, liburua hasten da, liburuena aipatuten da, zelan ondartzan dauela, korrike eskapaten dauien kotxerantz. Eta hortik duez eraikin batera, bera eta horrek eta lau lagunek. Momentuen inork ezauen pentsa, berriek hilebete be iraungo zauenik. Eta ezauen pentsaten inolaz bez, urtebete baino gehiago iraungo zauen gauze bat esango zanik. Horrek lau lagunek eraien zauen eta gaur egun ez dauz bizirik. Eta berak parte baten bebai idazten hasi izan guzan zaulakon munduek eta jentiek jakitzie bera hor egon zala. Eta konstantziz egeratuteko bera hor momentuen hor bizi izan zala. Eta lehen hasikeratan hasi izan publike zauen, beran liburu publikeko zauen pertsoniri, eta idatzi zauen hasikera baten ingelesez eta arabez.
So the last thing is, when I started, you know, to see that what I'm writing is published in international media, you know, and even the people around me where I lived in the tents and Rafah, they were encouraged, you know, and they were happy, and they were asking me to write about them. And for me, at that, you know, I was not thinking of having a book actually. Just I was writing, you know, because you know, I want to write about those people. I want to tell their stories, how they struggle to survive, how they fight death in order to live for one single day. Because at that time we were living by piece. You don't live, you don't have life. Just you have 1 hour to live, because you might not die next minute. So you have to live it and to struggle to find food, to find water, to find shelter, to find etc. So writing was like, for me at that time, a tool of survival. It was one of my tools to survive. And of course, sometimes it was very dangerous to write. Because sometimes I have to charge my laptop and I have to walk 3 kilometers to the east of Rafah, for example, to arrive to the Red Cross or Red Crescent, you know, place to charge, because I have solar energy from the sun. And when I want to send what I write to my publishers, I have to walk another 2 kilometers towards the border where the Israeli tanks are shooting to get a signal, you know, just to raise it like this. Because we don't have internet. So in the border you might have either Egyptian signal or Israeli signal. So if I get the signal, I will send it. So it was very dangerous, but it was worth it doing so.
Orduan azten daniko publiketen, ikusten dau, bera publiketen dauena modo internazional baten azten dela zabalduten. Bai, ez hainbeste kanpora begire, baizik eta barrora begire, herriko jentieri zelako intxarra emoten zantzon irakurtzie euren bizize benetan zelako edan, eta bertako jentiek irakurtzie eureri pasaten dako txoienak injarra emoten txon herrizeri. Eta bizize bertan dela egunien eguneko bizize. Egunien janarize topa, ure topa, eta orduen pausoz pausoko eguneroko bizibetzan hor momentuen. Eta zelan egin horrelako konteksto baten idazteko. Berantzako idazti esan bizirauteko erramintze bat. Ganera oso arriskutsu esana, ze ordenagailuek kargateko oinezen behar zauen 3 edo 4 kilometro gurutze gorriko kanpamentora alizateko aiega eta bertan panel solarran bitartez karga ordenagailue. Eta gero beste 2 kilometro oinezen
eta iritzeko interesantea. Gaza suntsitu bat da orain, baina nola zan beretako gaza bizi-bizi zegoenean, nola bizi ziren gazatarrak lehen, eta nola orain.
Yeah, I guess, I would say that most of the people of Gaza were born during war and they died during war. My dad was born after the Nakba, you know the Nakba, 1948. Was born in a tent accident in 1950 and he died in a tent, in this war. And most of the people of Gaza, their life is like a breakout between 2 wars or 2 deaths. It's one war actually, which continues since 1948 until now. So, nonetheless, this, Gaza was always a vivid it's the biggest Palestinian city actually now, because the population of Gaza City, not the Strip, is 900,000, nearly 1 million, which makes it the largest Palestinian city in history ever. Because Jaffa was the largest before the Nakba, with a population. I come from Jaffa, my family, and my daughter is named Jaffa actually. So Jaffa was the largest Palestinian city, which is constituted before the Nakba 140,000. Jerusalem now is 500,000 maybe with Arabs, but Gaza is the largest Palestinian city. So just imagine a city of 1 million, and on the coast we have very nice beach. It's like the beaches here, And but none of the people of Gaza ever in his life, especially me, the people less than maybe 6 years old, never take a ship from the sea and traveled. And more than 70% of the Gazans, they never been outside Gaza because of the Israeli siege that is imposed on Gaza.
Dinolez, jende gehizena gerran Gazako eta Palestinako jente gehizena gerran jaizo eta gerran hiltzen. Beran etxe kanpindenda bateko bombardaketa baten hil zan, jaizo zan Nakbako momentuen, eta esaten daude askok oraingo beste gerra bat dela, bai ez da, gerra bakarra da, oin dela urtiek irauten dauena. Zelako edan Gaza horreri galderi erantzuten herri bizibet da, 900.000 bat pertsonako herri bet. Inoiz egondan herri palestinar handizena da. Hori baino harinau Jaffa esaten zan lehen herririk handizena, berata alabie Jaffan jaizo zien, eta orain Gaza da herririk handizena. Imagine zelako aldan esan 1.000.000 bateko herrize. Han ondartzak oso politzek diez, amekuek, amen dakun ondartzagakuek. Bai alan dabe inor ez dau alizan dauena barku hartun eta barkoz juen. Eta gaur egun Gazan biziden biztanleri zen 70% ez da inoiz Gazatik urten.
So even Israel was imposing siege in Gaza in the last 17 years, let's say. Life in Gaza was very vivid and very rich, and we have lots of museums. We have 9 museums in Gaza, but they were all destroyed by the Israelis. And we have, like, I was Minister of Culture, so I know the information very well. We have the theater houses and cinema houses and public libraries. And the largest Palestinian public library, which was in Gaza, was also destroyed as well. And the largest public library. And 17 other public libraries were destroyed, actually. So, and I was telling yesterday, I told you yesterday, that in Gaza in the 1950s, there was a union for cinema houses, which was not in many European capitals in the 50s. In Gaza, in 1958, there was the union of the cinema house in Gaza, which, which reflects a lot about how the city is, and until even now, everything is destroyed now. As you said, there is no Gaza now, There is a name in the dictionary called Gaza, and a geography which is called Gaza, but the city itself was erased, like totally like this.
Israelek dakon zelan ez da hori ditzen jentieri urteten, ez dut duetan horrein berriek zelan dan hori fronteratan dakoien debekue jentieri itxitzeko pasaten beti egon da hor, baina alan dabe Gaza beti esan da herri oso bizibet eta herri oso aberatsa. Museo asko egoten zan herri bet, konkretuki 9 museo egoten ziren Gazan, eta gaur egun danak dauz suntsituten. 17 liburutegi publiko egoten ziren, eta orguneko liburutegirik handizena bebai suntsitute akaba dau gerran. Hori berak daki kultur ministro esan dalakon, eta kulturaldetik herri oso bizibet esan da, eta adibide modu beti mitzeko zinema sindikatu bet egoten zan, sortu zan Gazan 50. hamarkadan. Eta horrek asko esaten dau herri batetaz. Gaur egun dana dau suntsitute, zinema danak eta kultur eraikin danak dau suntsitute, eta Gaza bakarrik da mapan ikusi aldun territorio bat, bai Gazako herrize, ia ez da existiten, suntsitute geratu den herri bet da.
Yes, on Thursday night, which is because Friday is the holiday in the Arab countries, you cannot drive your car in Gaza, you cannot walk, because all people are going out, Many, of course, the beach, because, mainly. So it was very, and now most of the Gazans, they just discovered how Gaza was very beautiful. So now most of the people of Gaza, they just watch the videos of Gaza before 7 October. They feel that they lost the city because the city was assassinated. It's not only the persons who were assassinated, the place was assassinated, and the memory of the place, because they were destroying until now everything that relates to our memory in the city. Museums, the old Phoenician, the old Phoenician port, and of course even the church. None of you knows that the third oldest church in the world is in Gaza.
The third oldest church
in the world is in Gaza, not in Vatican or anywhere. It's in Gaza. St. Porphyrius Church. They attacked it by the planes, and they killed 18 Christian Palestinians. They died while they were praying in the chapel, actually. So So they were killing like they destroyed the archival center of the city. But why do you destroy the archival center? You occupy the city and why you burn it? Because you want to burn the memory of the people. You don't want anything that relates them to the place. And so it's, you know, so if you look to all these acts, and this happened by the way since Nakba until now, but in Gaza it was more intensified this time. They were erasing everything that relates the people to the city. And again, this is, as I said, to the manager of the UNESCO, the Director General, it's not our history only. It's the history of humanity. This is our contribution as Palestinians to the human history. And they're killing it, and nobody, no one. Okay, yeah, I think at certain points you find some countries suppressed, anger, and especially when it comes to historical places. But what happened now? They assassinated the place, the people in the place, and the memory of the place.
One question: why cannot people not walk on Fridays?
No, because the crowd. It's crowded. People go out in the night.
Atzera begiren, aipatuten dauzelan, barikuen imposibili esan Gazatik iritsi. Ze hainbeste jente urteten zauen kalera, ez ala egoten lekorik edo oso jente askogaz egoten zalakaliez, esan herri oso bizibet. Eta orain, asko konturetuten diez, ze zoragarri ze, ze politzezan eureko kitzen zauien herri ze. Bai, konturetuten diez horretaz argazkizek ikusten dauieniko. Euren herri ze zelako esan lehen. Erabiltzen dauen metaforie da herri ze erail dauie. Ez bakarrik jentie. Museuek, museo danak, zenizioen portue, eta munduen dauen hirugarren elizerik zaharrena Gazan egon da. Ez Vatikanuen, ez Roman, baizik eta Gazan. Eta bertan, 18 kristau gazati hil zaudien bombardaketan elize barruen errezaten dauzela. Zeitzik zuntzitu herribet, ja zeugona badan herrize, ja hartunde badako zuien herrize. Ez da herrize zuntzitu, ez da herrize bakarrik uzuela zuntzitu baizik eta herrizen memorize da ezabatu gudena. Eta herrizegaz lotute dauen memori historiko dana. Eta hori ez da orain urrizek zazpitzik eta ona pasaten dauen zozer, hori Nakbatik eta ona pasaten dan errealidade bat da. Herrizegaz lotu aldan dana guda zuntzitu. Eta nazio batuetako gozera maiek esan zauelez, humanidadie da, edo bizatasune da zuntzitu gudana, ez herrize bera.
Pixka bat gaude izututa orain hasieratik, baina orain egunez egun ikusten ari gara gerrak beste dimentsio bat hartzen ari da. Orain Libano daukagu horre komunikabideetan, baina bien bitartean jarraitzen du Gazan eta ja isiltzen ari dira Gazakoa, garria da hori. Nahiko nukena da, ze irakurketa egiten duzun jakitea gerraz, hau da, ze dimentsioetan dagoen, zein dian hau dauden interesak, nolabait, eta nola...
Zelan irakurketa gerraz eta?
Ze interes ikusten ditu nola? Eta noruntz doan iruditzen zaion. Noruntz doan gerra. Gaur egungo aktualitatea nola dago, egoera zein da.
Nobody knows the future of this world. It's only one person who knows, Netanyahu. Because he's the one who's having the match, the match, yes. And he burns everything, And nobody can say no to him, unfortunately. So when he found himself pushed by the international community to make a ceasefire deal, he, instead of stopping the war, he made another war. And of course, when he found out that they're pushing him now to stop the war in Lebanon, he will go to another war in Yemen. he's dragging everybody slowly, you know. It's like he's forcing everyone to get in the war. And so unfortunately, the fact that now it's 1 year since the war is a failure of international law. And it's a failure of the international community and the United Nations. Can you imagine, it's the first time in history a country declares the head of the United Nations as persona non grata? Israel. Hey, you're a member of the club, and you say the head of the club is persona non grata. If this is any other country did it, they will not leave them 1 day in the United Nations. They will kick them out. Just because Israel. It's Israel, nobody can say no. And even nobody condemned it. Because if, as I always say, if you criticize Israel, then you are anti-Semites. Hey, but what about if you criticize us? We are Semites as well. Am I Semites or not? I am the original Semite actually. Because even according to the Bible, we were before any religion there, the Canaanite, my ancestors. So if you criticize Israel, you become anti-Semites. But if you criticize Israel, you are a very good person. If you criticize Palestine, you are a very good person. Eh. So, so again, for Netanyahu, the aim of this war is war itself. He doesn't have any aim. Of war is war itself. Fighting. And the day after war is another war. Because we have to tell the truth. No one can stop him. And he doesn't care. Even he doesn't care about Biden or Kamala if she came, or Trump is a friend if he comes, of course. But he doesn't care about anybody. And he enjoys all the privileges that any state can. He has a free trade agreement with all European countries, right? Including this country. And wow, clap. 2 weeks ago they recognized us as a state, Spain and America. For God's sake, this should be done since 1948, when Israel was recognized as a state in 1949, actually. So, what is the future? The future, as we keep silent, especially our governments, is another war. And the last thing I know is, if Israel thinks, it's time, she's the power. But I mean, not 80% of the parliament will go for the major two parties. So I think there is a sincere, genuine, and talk between the two parties on how, of course, many problems to be solved, because then it's not Fatah or Hamas who decides. You have Israel who's occupying Gaza now, and you have the international community, which can say nothing to Israel. So, but I think what we need as Palestinians, we need this understanding, and we need to bring, this is my personal opinion, it's not Fatah opinion, it's not anybody's opinion, we need an agreed upon government, a government that everybody approves, without being a political government, a partisan. So we need to sit all together, Fatah, Hamas, and other parties, FRP, and the communists and the Islamic Jihad. We all sit together and we agree to have a government, but we don't be there, but just we support it to enhance it. And I think this is the vision which Fatah has in mind, that let's work on this file. Then, until we reconstruct Gaza, which, some people will tell you it will take 2 decades, 14 years, whatever, but don't worry, we can make it quickly. It's, because it's our country, we need to build it. Yeah.
Horreri galderi erantzuten, orain momentuen ez da ez Fatah edo Hamas Gaza kontrolaten dauena. Bakigu Pekinen egon ziela bizen arteko konbertsazioek, Gazako frangien kudeaketien inguruen. zer pasako daute eskundiek egoten badizen. Horrek partido bizek diez dauzen partidorik handizenak, eta seguruenik 80% horrek partido bizen artien banatuko diez. Emitzen dauen adibidida, batzuiz nazionalistek, bestiek eskoikuek, eskerra da hirugarren injarra gazan, bai 5 eskaino gora, 5 eskaino bera, horren bizen artien banatuko diez eskainoek, horrek partidu bizen artien. Orain arazue da horrek partiduk ez dako hiela inongo erabaki injarrik, orain Israel da erabakitzen dauena. Beran iritziz, eta azpimarratuten dago beran iritzi pertsonala da, ez dela beste inon iritzize, lortu bidena da konsenso baten bitartez sortuko dan gobernu bet. Danak edo gehienak ados dauzenak horregaz gobernuegaz. Eta orduen partido danak, horrek partidoan dibizek, bai komunistek, bai jihad islamikuek batu bidiez, eta ailega bidiez akordio batera. Hori da, fatan intentzionue printzipioz. Bai, posible da, eta egin bidez, herrize, eraikien bide, eta horren aldeko aleginek da egin izan.
Ikusten ari gana da, nazioartetik bintzat laguntza oso gutxi espero da. Ikusten ari gana nazioartea isilik dagoela, isilik, edo bestela aurre egiten beharko diotenari. Nola ulertzen duzuko hori? Hori galdera, hori eta gero galdetuko garen segida.
But if the international community, if it is doing its job, then this war wouldn't last for 1 year. And unfortunately, the international organizations, mainly the Security Council, is the organization that makes war in the world. Because the people who makes war are the people sitting at the table. Who protect the states which makes war, because of the veto system, of course. The veto system. Because the International Council, Security Council, cannot take any decision against Israel, because America will raise its hand veto. Then, it's apparently, even the international community cannot force, even ask Israel to let the assistance, the food and the milk and the medicine to get in Gaza. They close the Rafah border, and they close the border. And it's Israel who decides if it wants to get something in or not. So again, the international community, actually our problem was made by the international community. We were in our country, then the United Nations decided to give our country to the settlers. This is history, the Jewish settlers who came from Europe. And myself, I'm very sympathetic with the Jewish, and of course, and the horrible of the Holocaust, the horrors of the Holocaust. Yes, we're all against it. But it's not my fault as Palestinian. It's not I should not pay the taxes or the prices of the European history mistakes. It's not my fault. Then the international community sat together and they decided, to split our country. And the Israeli state took a place, and we didn't until now. And even those countries who voted for this, until now they don't recognize us as a state. So again, this conflict was made by the international community. It's not a conflict between two states. It was made by a decision which Britain and America mainly they presented to the table, and they're protecting not to having a Palestinian state. They're preventing not having a Palestinian state. So this question cannot be solved without the international community's intervention. Otherwise, you will have a continuous war, and this war will not be the last. And the next generation will live in a more terrible war. And just to compare things, this war is worse than the one before, and the one before worse than it. So every time, and if Israel thinks by killing children, destroying their houses, then they subjugate or, they touch the conscience of the Palestinian, they hurt it. So the Palestinian would be afraid and they will not fight in the future. It's mistaken. Because this kid who saw his wife, his mother and father died in front of his eyes, and he saw the hand of his sister flies from bombing, and his house collapses. Do you think he will forgive? In one case he can forgive. If you give him hope for the future, if you tell him that, listen, this happened, it's not going to happen again. You have your state, you're going to have your political rights, you're going to have borders, you can travel. I was teaching political science in the university, Gaza Main University. It was like a joint class, Gaza and Porsche, for the first year, introduction to political science. It was actually the third year of the university. So most of the students were 21. So I said to them, they were 150 something. I never liked actually marking the exams, It's too much, Anyway. So I was saying, whoever left Gaza before, just one girl raised her hand. 150 something young men and women. They never been outside Gaza. And of course, if you don't give people hope, they will search for it. And even they will scratch the wall to break it.
Komunitate internazionalak beran lana ingo bazauen, hau berrie askoz laburraue esango zan. Komunitate internazionala da responsablie honena gerriena, da existiten dan beto sistemia gaitxik. Eta komunitate internazionalan parte handi batek ez dako inongo botererik edo inongo ekintze almenik Estatu Batuak beto almena dakolakon eta gauzerik simpliena be aldana esan laguntza humanitaizue botatie hori betateko aukere dakoie rafadeko pasuen, betazauien moduen horre kamioi danak eta hori laguntza humanitaizo dana sartutie. Eta horretxik gaur egun ezintze inongo laguntza humanitaizorik sartun. Nazioarteko komunidadie da bebai, Palestinar herrize Europako judueri emontxona. Territoizue Europako judueri oparitutxona. Eta egize da, juduek historikoki herri reprimido bat esan dizela edo herri zapaldu bet, bai palestinuek ez diez Europan errugaitxik edo Europan represinue gaitxik pagabi dauien pertsonak. Eurek ezin jauie hori impuestue, horren minen impuestue paga. Eta Europan errue paga. Ez bakarrik emon zauien euren territoizuek judu Europarrari baizik eta bebai, gaur egun ondino simpatian dize gordeten dauie Israelgo herrizeri. Eta hau konfliktue, honen konfliktuen errudun handizena, hori, komunitate internazionala da. Ez da bi estaduen arteko gerra bat. Eta ganera komunitate internazionala da, oztopuekin ini dauena estatu palestinar bat sortuteko edo oztopuen ini dauena. Eta hau, bai, alandabe da arpibi dako zen arazo bat. Ze, komunitate internazionalan laguntze barik, honek arazuek ez da bokingo inongo hau arazo ez da konponduko komunitate internazionalan eskuartze barik. Gerra bakotxa aurrauko gerrie baino askoz txarrau esan da. Eta aurrau etorriko dizen gerrak aurrauku baino txarrauek esango diez. Eta Israelen intentsinue da Palestinako herrizen konsientzizen mineitxie eta jentieri karie sartutie. Bai, pentsaten badauien holan, palestinarrak gelditu edo engo dizela erretute dauz. Ze pertsona batek ikusten badauzen, ume batek ikusten badauzen, beran gurasuek beran arpizen aurrien hiltzen eta beran arrebien bezue egaz urteten, igual bat ikaratuko dauie, bai bestieri ezin esango txoien memorize borra. Eta jentiek berbaitzen dau euren artien eta generazio gazti haueri historize kontaitzen da txoien. Bera ikasten erakusten egon zala Gatako Unibertsitatien zientzia politikek galdetuen zauen bertan, ia beran ikaslien artien zenbatek lortu ikusi dauien edo zenbatek urten dauien nonoiz Gatatik. Eta 150 ikasleen artien neska batek bakarrik altza zauen eskuen. Orduen, pertsonari esperantzi emoten bazun, ondino etorkizune ez dau galdu.
Nik azken galdera bat egin goet, hemen gehiago dauzkar, baina pentsatzen dezuetako norbaitek ere nahiko dulatzuen galdera bat egin. Nazioarteko isiltasun honen aurrean, elkartasunak, munduko herritarren arteko elkartasunak zer garrantzia daukazuentzat?
You know, again, you have to differentiate between the opinion and the stand of the countries and the international organizations and of the people who support the Palestinian cause and solidarity campaigns, which are all over the world, you know. Sometimes I always tell my European friends, and you know, it matters a lot and it means a lot, this demonstration for the people in Gaza, because at the end, you know, they realize that people are with them and people are thinking of them and people are trying to force their governments, you know, to stand with them, even if, you know, they cannot change the whole discourse thing, you know. And so I think, you know, we have to continue all the struggle to call for ceasefire and stopping the genocide and the war in Gaza and this tragedy in Gaza. And at the same time, you know, we have, you know, the government. And I think there is a growing sense in the international community that Netanyahu is dangerous. And he's, you know, when he found himself in the corner again, and everybody accusing him of not willing to stop the war, he went to Hezbollah, where many Europeans will say to him, bravo, you know, whatever your opinion of the war, you know, because many European governments, even they kept silent, you know, until now, because, you know, but this doesn't mean that we have to stop our struggle to achieve stability and justice and peace in the region, because, you know, the alternative or the other face of the coin should not be another war. It should be, you know, stability, and this cannot be achieved if we all not united and fighting for peace and fighting for stability and ceasefire and etc. Believe me, the people in Gaza, as this is a concluding question from your side.
Herrizek, estaduek eta pertsonan arteko iritzizek ez diez bardinek. Alan dabe oso importantie da babesa eta elkartasune segidutie erakusten, ze elkartasun barik ez da egongo zuetenik. Eta Netanyahu, edo, bueno, komunitate internazionala, gerota gehiz hau dau konturetuten Netanyahu pertsona arriskutsu bat dela. eta akorrala eta sentidu arte elkartasunez segidu bidu erakusten. Eta ezin du galdu esperantzarik, ze bestela eskara llegako estabilidade batera, eta alternatibe bakarra ezin esan gerrien. Eta hori ezin lortu elkartasunik gabe. 3-4 ordu eitzen dau berak, egunero beran familiz egaz berba, beran arrebakaz eta beste familikide batzukaz, eta berbaitzi bakarrik oso posik imitzen dau jenti, galdetutie kanpotik, zelan zauzie, zelan duedana, bakarrik jentiek txakitzie, ametik pentsaitzen dule eurengan. Orain, Libanoko gerrie gerizpe apurbettako txoitzen Gazako gerrieri. Atzo bertan, 18 mutil gazte erail zauen Israelgo estaduek Gazan. Eta bakarrik agertuten die zenbaki modure albiztietan. Baie, bataz beste, egunien 10 pertsona hiltzen diez. Eta hori da inoiz baino gehiago, hori bataz bestekuen. Netanyahu beste gerra askotan sartungo da, bai Gazako jentien ikari orain momentuen da astuti eurekaz. Edo ia ez eitxe berba horretaz problematikitaz, eta hori ikusi aldaz albiztietan lehenengo postuetan egon badan Palestinako genozidoen inguruko albiztiek gaur egun 5 edo 6 posture bajatu de horren inguruko albiztiek, eta importantia da horretaz berbaitzie. Eta gustako likidatxo konkluidutie hau itxaldize, beran ikasle eta lagun batek, bebai erail zaudien ikasle eta lagun batek esaten dauena, ezin gara oitzu horra estenara, ezin gara oitzu pasaten dauenara Gazan.
Cable.